Destiny grants us our wishes, but in its own way, in order to give us something beyond our wishes. Do not give in too much to feelings. An overly sensitive heart is an unhappy possession on this shaky earth. To be busy is man's only happiness. When a person thinks deeply and seriously, he has a bad time among the general public. The greatest evil that can befall a man is that he should come to think ill of himself. Our friends show us what we can do. Our enemies teach us what we must do. You have enemies? Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. It is the little conveniences that make the real comfort of life. The most ridiculous desire is the desire to please everybody. Doubt can only be removed by action. Everything is hard before it is easy. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. The man who was a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. When in doubt, tell the truth. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. If you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. If you treat an individual as he is, he will remain how he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become what he ought to be and could be. There are people who never make mistakes because they don't want to do it. No one knows what his powers are until he uses them. True greatness begins with understanding your own insignificance. One always has enough time if one applies it well. Catch a good mood. It so rarely visits us. Everybody wants to be somebody, but nobody wants to grow. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. There are three things extremely hard: steel, a diamond, and to know oneself. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. It is better to take many injuries than to give one. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. A person lives a real life if he is happy with someone else's happiness. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. We know accurately only when we know little. With knowledge, doubt increases. Ingratitude is a kind of weakness. Outstanding people are never ungrateful. Everyone hears only what he understands. The greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand, as in what direction we are moving. We all live upon the past, and through the past, we are destroyed. I can tell you, honest friend, what to believe. Believe life. It teaches better than a book or orator. It is easier to prevent bad habits than to break them. The most important decision you make is to be in a good mood. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. If passion drives you, let reason hold the reins. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. At 20 years of age, the will reigns. At 30, the wit, and at 40, the judgment. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. When you're finished changing, you're finished. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools. They don't have brains enough to be honest. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. Let us live so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half.